Hi, everyone. A very warm and lovely welcome to Moments with Inonge, a platform that is dedicated to personal awareness and development. My name is Inonge, a certified speaker, trainer, and coach with the John Maxwell team, an entrepreneur and an accountant by profession. Tonight's topic on the leadership segment, we're going to be looking at persistence, a leader's virtue. Persistence, a leader's virtue. I don't know from those that are watching who happened to actually watch the inspirational segment. I guess from that inspirational segment, you can actually see that we're talking about persistence. And usually the tradition is that the inspirational segment is what, gives birth to the motivational segment and as well as the leadership segment. So tonight, we're going to be looking at persistence, a leader's virtue. Persistence, a leader's virtue. So in the meantime, guys, please let me know where you're watching from and feel free to drop your comments, your contributions, your questions in the comment section, and like and share. Let others also be part and parcel of this broadcast. Help enlighten somebody by tagging them. Like and share, like and share, like and share. Please let somebody know that there's something that they can watch, that is going to add value to them. Most of the times we love to add to tag people, we love to share things that will just make people laugh, what. But when it comes to the serious stuff about life, we rarely find ourselves forwarding or sharing such stuff. Most of the times we like to keep such stuff to ourselves. So guys, please like and share, tag a friend, tag friends to come along. If you're watching via Facebook, create a watch party. And if you're watching via YouTube, you can click on the link and share the link. We have a comment from Ian, and Ian says, following, and we have another comment from Lupumpi, and Lupumpi says, glued to Chalana. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for those comments. Thank you so much. Please stay tuned even as we talk about persistence, a leader's virtue. So for those that are watching us for the first time and are not too familiar with the schedule for Moments with Inonge, every Sunday we have the inspirational segment. Every Sunday we have the inspirational segment, and Mondays we have the financial literacy segment or the motivational segment at 7:45 p.m. And every Tuesday we have the leadership segment, which is this segment that you're actually watching. And we also have a free 30 minutes coaching session known as the history of your future. And from the people that I'm seeing, the majority have actually booked for this session, and we've had this wonderful session. I also offer one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching. And the theme for this month of March, even as we wind up, is understanding will establish me. Understanding will establish me. And we also have a practical table running. And for the month of April, we're going to be focusing on goal setting. The whole month of April, every topic we're going to be looking at is going to be in line with goal setting. When I met one of my mentors for the first time, he actually asked me to say, Inonge, can I have a look at your goals? Can I have a look at your goals? And I went like, I don't have any goals. And they looked at me and said, you know what? Since you said you don't have any goals, I can guess how much your account balance is. And they actually did. So that just goes to stress the point that, if you have goals, clearly set goals set in the right way, it will actually reflect in your performance as well as in your income. So guys, let's get enlightened. Join the practical table and let us know the right way of setting goals and also set goals. We're going into the fourth month of the year 2020, meaning the first quarter of the year will be gone. If we can match up, arise to the occasion, we can make the most of this year 2021. I don't want anybody to be left out, especially, the leaders on Moments with Inonge. I don't want anybody that is going to associate with me to be left out. This is why we have the practical table powered by Moments with Inonge. So please ensure that you drop your comments, your questions, even as we go through this segment. So I'll just start by sharing something. Please stay tuned. Please stay tuned. And guys, like I said, ensure that you have subscribed to the practical table. It's only 50 kwacha for 2 weeks and 100 kwacha for a month. The stuff that you'll be getting from the practical table, believe you me, that it's world-class stuff, but for that amount, if I were you, I would jump onto it because you don't know how long the practical table is going to last. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so guys, on today's leadership segment, we're going to be looking at persistence. Persistence is a leader's virtue. Persistence is a leader's virtue. I'm sure from the inspirational segment, which was on Sunday, for those that didn't watch, I'll just give a brief highlight. It was about the parable of the sower, who the first time he actually sowed, what happened was that birds came and took the seeds. But that sower did not give up. The sower actually went a second time, and this time around, when he sowed, the seed fell like among rocky places. So because it fell among rocky places, the soil was shallow. So the seeds, the seed actually germinated. But when the sun came out, the plants were scorched and died. But that didn't stop the sower from sowing. He still went a little further and sowed the third time. And when he did this, he sowed among thorny places. And what happened is that as the plant was growing, the thorns were also growing and they actually choked the plant. And then the fourth time, what we discover from that parable in the good book is that the fourth time the sower actually sowed on good soil and had his harvest. So one thing that we can see from this parable is that the first time it didn't work out. The second time it seemed to work out but did not work out. The third time it actually began to work out but it didn't flourish. But then the good book continues to tell us about this parable about the sower, how that the fourth time he actually sowed and he was able to reap a harvest. The Bible tells us that he was able to reap 100-fold or a 60 or even 30. So guys, just to speak more on a leadership angle concerning persistence, we're going to be looking at persistence is a leader's virtue. With this COVID-19 currently going on, this global pandemic, and the economy not doing so well, in these difficult and trying times, it's easy to be overwhelmed and to ask and say, when will this all end? When will this COVID-19 just pass away? When will the world become open to trade and travel? We may be asking the question to say, how much more of this can we take? Companies are closing up, companies are downsizing people, they are declaring people redundant, services are being, streamed down, because of the effects of COVID-19. You find that the job that you were doing, because people are now working from home, people are now transacting more on their phones, so your job at your workplace becomes less relevant. As a result, you actually, you are laid off work. I mean, how much more of this can we take? Sometimes we find ourselves saying, you know what, this is too difficult. This is too difficult. But you see, as somebody whom people are looking up to, as somebody whom people are following, trust me, it's very difficult as a leader to go through 2 days straight without having to face any challenge, any obstacle, or any situation. And I guess those are the points when somebody just says, you know what, I need to turn around, I just need to stop or to quit. I need to turn around. I need to do something else because this thing that I'm doing, it's challenging. I'm doing this, the numbers are not increasing. I'm doing this, the numbers are not adding up. I keep on investing. I keep on pouring myself, but the returns, I'm not even able to break even. You know, I'm leading people, but the people that I'm leading in my department, you know, they're not meeting the goals. They're not meeting the targets. You know, we're not getting that bonus at our place of work. I think I just need to do something new. I need to stop or I need to quit. I mean, when challenges are there, when obstacles are there, I guess you guys can agree with me that most of the time this is the language that we speak. But however, today we're going to be looking at persistence. That's our topic for discussion. Persistence is a leadership virtue. It's a leadership virtue. So at this point, you know, I don't know who I'm talking to, but you may be in a situation where, you know, things don't seem to work out right. I want you to think about some of your greatest successes and accomplishments. You will actually notice they came on the backside of something challenging and seemingly overwhelming. I mean, what is the definition of success? Would success actually be success if we didn't encounter any challenges, if we didn't encounter any opposition, if we didn't encounter any struggle? Because when you think of the time that you know you actually made that your biggest profit, you actually did something, you're also going to realize that for you to actually make that biggest profit, you had to do something also extraordinary. You had to put in so much. So usually when we look at the greatest successes that we have and the accomplishments, you're going to actually realize that, you know what, they really come at the backside of something challenging and seemingly overwhelming. At this point, as a leader, you and I, you know, quitting for us, quitting is not the answer to your difficulty. Persistence is the answer. Quitting is definitely out of it. Persistence is a leader virtue. It is a leader virtue. Every leader has to, you know, has to endure some level of persistence. I'll take you to the example of Bishop David Oyedepo, you know, from Living Faith or Winners Chapel. You see, I love referring to that man because he's a man that is not only in ministry, in preaching, but he's also got businesses and one of the great universities in Africa. You see, when he started out, I remember in one of his sermons, he talked about how he preached to less than 10,000 people, less than 10 people, you know, as though he was speaking to 10,000 people. And the less than 10 that were around him were looking at him and were very amused to say, how can you scream like this when we're just so close to you? Why are you talking like you're talking to thousands and thousands of people? So you see, those people that were asking him those questions, they didn't actually see his vision, which is a reality today. They didn't see his vision, which is a reality today. So most of the times, us as leaders, we're going to have a vision. That is so clear to us, because sometimes you can explain your vision to somebody else, but they will not understand it, and they'll look at your actions as being maybe stupid. Because if you are less than 10 people in a room, obviously those 10 people are seated close to you. But if you are speaking on top of your voice, screaming and shouting, people will go like, why do you have to really shout? Why do you actually have to scream? But I mean, at the end of the day, it's what is called persistence. We look at our late president, Michael Sata, may his soul rest in peace. He was, persistent concerning, having to sit in State House, having to be the president of Zambia. We saw how many times we lost. We saw everything that he had to endure, but he had to be persistent, because persistence is the answer of every leader. So when we look at Sata, that's the former Zambian president, when we look at him, we see how persistent he was, and we see that because of his persistence, he actually rose to the level of being a leader. The same goes for Bishop David Oyedepo. At that point, he had maybe less than 10 people, but right now he's got thousands upon thousands upon thousands filling his auditorium. So persistence, guys, is a leadership virtue. We need to be persistent in whatever we're doing. A leader without persistence will be distracted by every challenge or uncomfortable circumstance that appears. Whenever a challenge comes up, that challenge should not distract you. Hold on to the vision, hold on to that picture, keep moving forward. Yes, that challenge may bring some form of uncomfortability, but you have to hang in there. You see, developing a persistent mindset requires courage to continue moving forward, even when obstacles appear and the path is unclean. Trust me when I say this. For you to develop a persistent mindset, it requires courage. And one thing that a leader should be is be courageous. When things don't look so clear, when there is an obstacle in front of you, you require the courage to move past that obstacle, to move past, that challenge. You really, really need to be courageous as a leader. You need to be courageous as the leader. So when there's an obstacle in the way, the obstacle is the way. Somebody may be wondering, Inonge, what are you saying? What are you saying? What I'm saying is that when there is an obstacle in the way, the obstacle is actually the way. There's a quote that I really like by Marcus, and it says, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. And I like what Ryan Holiday said about this quote by Marcus in one of his books. He said, in this famous line, what Marcus is suggesting is that no matter how bad or seemingly undesirable a situation becomes, we always have the opportunity to practice virtue, to use the situation as an opportunity to be our best selves. We don't control when things get hard, but we always control how we respond. We can show patience, courage, humility, resourcefulness, reason, justice, and creativity. The things that test us make us who we are. I just really, really love that. The things that test us make us who we are. So when we look at the things that test us, it's easy to think of the things that test us as obstacles that cannot be overcome. But I have found that, and I'm still learning, as Ryan Holiday said in the quote above, the things that test us actually make who we are. Most of us can attribute, where we are to the things that we've actually gone through. Today, you may be strong when faced with a certain situation because you have overcome even worse situations that you've actually gone through. So usually, the normal thing with us human beings is whenever we are tested, whenever we have a trial or an obstacle, right in front of us, we tend to think, oh my God, this thing I can never, or I will never overcome. But as a leader, I am here to encourage you to say, you need to know that whatever tests you, is there to actually make you, is there to actually make who you are, so that even when somebody else is going through that challenge, that situation, you are actually able to encourage them. So we're going to look at 4 things that have helped me a lot, a great deal. 4 things that have helped me a lot and a great deal. I call them 4 thoughts to help us develop a winning perspective. For me, this really helps me so much, and I hope that it will be of value to you. So, the first thing is there is no growth inside your comfort zone. If you are clinging to comfort, you are most likely not growing or moving forward or moving towards your goals. The comfort zone, everything in the comfort zone is just good. When you're in the comfort zone, you do not push yourself an extra mile because you're comfortable. When you're in the comfort zone, you do not think of investing in another business because what is coming in is able to pay your bills. It's able to pay your water bills, your electricity bills, your cable bills, your food, your rentals, and that is it. So because you're in that comfort zone where you're not sleeping hungry, most of the time what is going to happen is that you won't push yourself any further. So if you're clinging to comfort, you are most likely not growing or moving towards your goals. So at this point, as a leader, I would love you to ask yourself to say, am I in my comfort zone? Because if I'm in my comfort zone, that means I'm not growing or moving towards my goals, because growth is uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable. When we just quickly think about, the parable of the sower, and now look at the seed, you see what happens is that the seed is actually planted underground, but for it to spring forth into a plant, it has to go through the soil. It has to find its way to come out of the soil and just appear on the surface. So growth usually is uncomfortable, guys, but as leaders, we should always we should always aim to be outside our comfort zone, because it is outside our comfort zone that we actually grow. So whenever you have an obstacle, whenever you have a challenge, whenever you have something that is threatening your peace, you should always be reminded that there is no growth inside your comfort zone. So it's okay to have obstacles along your way. And the second thing that helps me, and I hope it can help you also to develop a winning perspective, is everything worth doing is uphill. I mean, I love to use this statement so many times. I use it so many times. I refer to it most of the times. I say everything worth doing is uphill. And to support this statement that I really I love, and this thought, this philosophy that I have just adopted, I'm going to use a quote by Zig Ziglar. And he says, there is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. There is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. So imagine, if, I love to bring in a little bit of attack, not really attack, but it's just true talk, concerning the religious mindset. Many believers, many Christians out there, we tend to believe, and I was also part and parcel of this group of people that I'm actually talking to, or talking about rather. Many believers believe that when you have a challenge, when you have a situation, when you have a circumstance, you've actually backslidden, or God has forsaken you, He's actually deserted you. But we forget that the Bible tells us that when you pass through the water, it will not drown you. So meaning at some point, the water will be there, you'll be struggling here and there, but it will not drown you. When you pass through the fire, meaning that there'll be some times that you're gonna get into intense heat, but it's not going to burn you. But most of the times, believers, we don't like to go through that. This is why when I found the parable of the sower, I looked at it. The revelation that just came to me was, this is talking about persistence. Because as a Christian, we just believe, okay, if you've got a gift, if you've got a talent, if you've got this calling, once you just step into that calling, say for instance, like I'm a speaker, my gifting is speaking, my calling is to encourage, other people. So once it's very natural for modern believers to just think that, okay, since my gift is speaking, my calling is to encourage. Once I just start speaking, once I just start encouraging, all the lines will fall into pleasant places. But that's not true. That's not true, because we can see from the scriptures, from the word of God, from the parable of the sower, that at the first time, he saw birds came, meaning sometimes you may you may want to do a deal, or you may want to even set up your business. But before you know it, somebody, a con man, a con woman will just come, run away with your money. That's like a bird. Sometimes you meet this good business partner, and before you can even start business, somebody else with more money has come to them, has realized what potential they have, and now they abandon you. Those are like birds. And then when we look at the second part, of the parable of the sower, we look at it when this farmer actually sowed on rocky grounds. So what happened is that the seed, actually fell into the soil, and it actually germinated. But when the sun came out, situations, circumstances, COVID, situations beyond your control, like the sun, when the sun came out, it came out so hot, it hit the plant. And because the Bible says that the soil was very shallow, it actually couldn't take root. The plant couldn't take root. The roots were not firm enough to support, to keep the plant hydrated, even as it was being hit by the sun. So you realize that in the second attempt of the sower, what happened is that situations beyond his control, environmental situations happened. Like in this time of COVID-19, environmental situations have happened. The universe, the globe is actually going through a global pandemic. So you find that you have done your best, but just the environment around, it's adverse enough. It's adverse enough, but you don't have to give up. And also, when I look at this, the second phase of this parable, I look at it as, as something like, as a warning about quick fixes. Most of the times we love quick fix. We love business where we can just venture into a business, and in less than six months, we actually want to make 300% of what we invested. Usually, a lot of people are looking for quick fix. They are looking for the success secrets. You may know the success secrets, which we actually teach at the practical table, but if you don't go ahead and implement them, it will not happen. If you don't go through a process, it will not happen. So I really love this quote by Zig Ziglar, which says, there is no elevator to success. There's nothing like skipping stages, because if you skip stages, when push comes to shove, when something happens, when something bad hits, you won't have the strength to stand, because you haven't had the experience to go through stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. You just jumped to stage 5. So you don't have the stamina. You haven't associated with others that operate at stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5. So you don't have backup. So guys, there is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. And the third is If you are coasting, you are going downhill. What do I mean by coasting? What I mean by coasting is moving easily without power. If you're moving easily without using power, just know that you're going downhill, because everything worthwhile, I say this again automatically, is uphill. So if you're not using power, if you're not putting in effort, if there is nothing you have to overcome, if there is nothing threatening your peace, if there is nothing threatening your comfort, just know that you're going down. Just know that you're going down. The pace at which you may be going down is not, it may not be so fast that you have to realize. But since you are at the leadership segment, you're listening to this leadership segment, and you've heard this word, just do a due diligence and just see yourself to say, where am I at this point? So the fourth thought that helps me to actually keep a winning perspective is, behind mountains are more mountains. Meaning, there is no path to success that does not include obstacles. Once you are past one, the next will appear. Guys, believe you, behind mountains are more mountains. You know what? As a leader, it's very important to know that, you first of all, you understand yourself so well. You understand yourself so well to the point whereby, there are just some battles that you may be faced with, and you say, you know what, this battle is not worth my time. There are battles, there are certain situations that life throws at you. You find yourself in a certain situation, you actually analyze that situation, you analyze that battle, and you just say, you know what, this battle, it's not for me. This one, I'll pass it. As a leader, you should be able to distinguish where to push your energy into. We're talking about persistence, but you have to realize that as a leader, it's not every battle that you should fight. It's not every battle that you should fight. Yes, you should be persistent, but you should be persistent in the right things, because there are certain obstacles that will come to you as a leader. Maybe, for instance, you lack a certain skill, and because of your lack in that certain skill, you're not able to do a certain thing. Look around in your team and find out in your team to say, who can I delegate this work to? Who is good? Who is talented? Who is good in this field? Give them that thing. And as a leader, free yourself and concentrate on your strengths. Concentrate on what really pushes you. Concentrate on the area that you're really passionate about. Because in an area that you're passionate about, even when a trial and a tribulation comes, you won't need any motivation from anybody. You just get up and keep going. So as a leader, behind mountains are more mountains, meaning there's no path to success that does not include obstacles. Once you are past one, the next will appear. So just to wrap up this whole talk about persistence being a leadership virtue, I want to wrap up with this statement. And what I want to say is, persistence is a leadership quality that is often not mentioned. But without it, you can never be the change agent and motivator you need to be to take yourself and others to the next level. Persistence is a leadership quality that is often not mentioned. Many people will not tell you about what they've gone through. You will just see results. Usually we don't mention, this business is good. This business is good. Though that person looks like they're doing well, but all you can see is the outside. You don't really get to see the inside. So you judge based on face value. So persistence usually is a leadership quality that is often not mentioned. But you have to realize that without it, you can never be the change agent and motivator you need to be to take yourself and others to the next level. So, guys, having spoken about this persistence being a leadership virtue, what is it that you have gotten from this segment that you actually, has thought you've thought to yourself to say, you know what, this point that Inonge has mentioned has really made sense to me. So drop your comments and let us get conversating concerning persistence. Is there something that I have left out that you feel I needed to bring out in the leadership segment to talk about when it comes to persistence? Because this Moments with Inonge is not all about me. I learned so much from your contributions. I learned so much from your comments, and others also get enlightened by the questions that you ask. So drop your comments, questions, and let us just get talking. So we have a comment from Kay, and Kay was actually tagging some people to come and watch. Kay, thank you so much. Thank you for tagging Milimo to come and watch, and also thank you for tagging Musa to also, come and be a part and parcel of our leadership segment. Thank you so much. Your network is actually your net worth. So you have to invest in the people that hang around with you also. Many times, we outgrow our friends. But you see, caring is sharing. You can't just listen to good stuff and want to keep it to yourself, and you alone, you're the only one that's making progress, you're the only one that's growing. We should also show care by, having our friends also enlightened. And we have a comment from Joel. Joel says he's following. Thank you so much, Joel, for being part and parcel of our leadership segment. We have a comment from Ruben, and Ruben is actually tagging somebody. Thank you so much, Sililo. Thank you so much for being part and parcel. Thank you so much for tagging somebody else to be part and parcel of these segments. You are the guys that are making Moments with Inonge be what it is. And trust me, without your support, without your encouragement, without you liking and sharing and tagging others, I wouldn't be where I am. So I thank you so much for being a wonderful and amazing team. And we have Michelle Manda actually tagging Cecilia Zulu. Michelle, thank you so much. And she also goes ahead and tags Mwanza. Thank you so much, Michelle, for tagging the people that you have tagged. Thank you so much for making Moments with Inonge what it is. And we also have William Chani. William Chani is actually dropping a comment and says following. So guys, at this point, if you've got any contributions, any questions concerning persistence, please do drop your comments and let me know any contribution, any questions, any comments. So at this point, as I wait for the comments, the contributions to come in, I would love to state that the practical table is ongoing. Remember, we launched the practical table on the 3rd of March. It's been a month, an amazing month. And from the people that have dropped comments, I know there are some actually that actually sit at the practical table. And I'm sure they can actually attest to say what they've learned at the practical table is so much. The focus for the month of March was personal development. We're just looking at personal development, things that have got to do with you. Because before you can go out there and change the things that are external to you, you have to start with a due diligence. You have to check yourself. You have to screen yourself. You have to be personally aware of what your strengths are, of what your weaknesses are. So I think we looked at a lot of success strategies, and we're privileged to have the radical entrepreneur also come in and talk to us on Saturday night. It was a wonderful session. Thanks to Misani, I just had to mention that. And we're going to be having other other people. So for those that are employment, we're actually going to be having HR managers come on board and just talk to us about goal setting, because that's the theme. So we're going to have very, very good HR managers at the practical table. And we're also going to have very, very good entrepreneurs to help those entrepreneurs. Remember, the practical table is all about proven success strategies as well as practical steps. Knowledge without action is equal to nothing. When you have the knowledge, just like I've shared, to say, okay, these are the 4 thoughts that I use to maintain a winning perspective, you find that when an obstacle is faced, when you face an obstacle, you can go back and say, what are the 4 thoughts that Inonge shared upon about persistence? And you look at them and you ask yourself, okay, what am I doing in relation to these 4 steps? And you begin to do them. And before you know it, you actually realize to say, oh my God, I have gotten over this obstacle. So you have to realize, guys, that just knowledge in itself is not enough. And when we're alive like this on Moments with Inonge, the time is limited. The things to share are so much, but I can't share them. Like, I can't just talk about persistence in just one segment, because I need to keep moving. I've got a lot of stuff that I need to offload. So I can't do it. But then I would rather do it at the practical table. So for those that are watching and you're not yet part of the practical table, I encourage you to, just sacrifice 100 kwacha for your own knowledge, 100 kwacha, just to get associated to people that are like-minded, to find yourself in a safe environment. I mean, a sacrifice of 100 kwacha, what would it do to you? How much is the hair you're wearing? How much is the perfume you're wearing? How much is the shirt you're wearing, the shoes you're wearing, compared to 100 kwacha for a month of getting proven world-class success strategies? Remember, I am a John Maxwell team member. And if you Google who John Maxwell is, you will know what I'm talking about. So what I am delivering to you is world-class stuff. It's the stuff that makes you think to say, what manner of wisdom does this woman have? So that's the stuff I'm willing to share, of course, at the practical table. So subscription is ongoing, and we start a new on Thursday. So for those that haven't renewed their subscription yet, please, guys, ensure that you renew. Once you do that, we'll send you your receipt. Within a few minutes, we'll send you your receipt and what next you need to do. So remember, the April focus is goal setting. This year, 2021, as long as you come on to Moments with Inonge, as long as you're a leader on Moments with Inonge, at least by the special grace of God, you just have to have something. You just have to have something tangible to show at the end of the year. Because believe you me, even when you may think it is a coincidence for you to run into this platform, it might not be a coincidence. You never know why, God has led you to this platform. So utilize it while you still can. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. I've been waiting for comments to come in, questions, contributions concerning persistence, but I can see that there are no comments, questions, and contributions. However, maybe if you took such a long time typing, I can as well as go through and respond to you pretty much later, even after this live broadcast is done, because I still follow up on the comments and all that. We can still get talking. We can still reflect on what you have. So at this point, guys, we call it a night. For those that are in Southern Africa, we call it a day. We call it an afternoon. Depending on where you're watching from. I love you so much, guys, and looking forward to setting goals with you the right way, and goals that you will actually be able to achieve by the end of this year, 2021, 3 years from now, and 5 years from now. Thank you so much, guys. Love you.